fix what's broken, restore what's been lost, and become everything you were created to be. The year 2025 represents a fresh start, a new chapter, and a golden opportunity to renew your life, your dreams, and your sense of purpose. Each new year brings the promise of change, but 2025 is not just another page on the calendar. It's your moment to take hold of everything God has destined for you and make it a reality. No matter what happened in the past, no matter how many times you stumbled or felt defeated, this is your time to rise, to rebuild, and to refresh your spirit. Renewal starts with a decision. It's not about waiting for circumstances to change or for someone else to pave the way for you. It's about choosing right here and now to see this year as a gift and an opportunity. Think of renewal as a chance to hit the reset button in every area of your life. Maybe you've been carrying the weight of old mistakes, disappointments, or fears. Renewal means letting go of what's behind you and looking forward with hope. It's saying, I may have been through the fire, but I'm stepping out stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever. Renewal is not just about starting over, it's about stepping into the newness of life with boldness and intention. The Bible says, behold, I am making all things new, Revelation 21:5. That promise isn't just for the world, it's for you. God wants to make your life new. He wants to breathe fresh energy into your dreams, ignite your passions, and help you see yourself the way He sees you, capable, worthy, and loved. But for renewal to take place, you must partner with God and take action. It's not enough to wish for change, you have to work for it, trusting that God will bless your efforts. Begin by examining your life. What areas feel stagnant or unfulfilled? Is it your career, your relationships, or your spiritual journey? Renewal requires honesty and the courage to confront the parts of your life that aren't serving you. Maybe it's time to step out of your comfort zone and take a risk. Perhaps it's time to set boundaries with people who drain your energy or let go of habits that hold you back. Renewal often requires releasing the old to make space for the new. One of the most powerful aspects of renewal is the transformation of your mindset. If you've been carrying a negative narrative about yourself, believing you're not good enough, smart enough, or deserving enough, minus 2025 is the year to rewrite that story. Begin speaking life over yourself. Declare, I am strong, I am capable, and I am equipped for every challenge. Your words have power. And when you align your thoughts with God's promises, you'll begin to see the changes you desire. Renewal also involves taking care of your physical and emotional well-being. Your body is a gift, and it's important to treat it with care. Maybe this is the year you commit to a healthier lifestyle, not just to look better, but to feel better and to have the energy to pursue your goals. Similarly, your emotional health matters. Take time to rest, to recharge, and to nurture your soul through prayer, meditation, or time spent in nature. Renewal doesn't happen overnight. It's a process that requires patience and persistence. Most importantly, renewal is about reconnecting with your purpose. God has placed gifts, talents, and dreams inside of you that are uniquely yours. This year is your chance to rediscover those gifts and use them to make a difference. Maybe it's starting a new project, pursuing a passion you've put on hold, or simply being more intentional in your daily life. Whatever it is, know that you are here for a reason and your life has meaning. The year 2025 is your invitation to step into the fullness of who you are meant to be. It's a time to shed the past, embrace the present, and look forward to the future with hope and determination. Renewal is not just a possibility, it's a promise. Trust in that promise. Take action and watch as this year becomes the turning point for a life of abundance, joy, and purpose. Your past does not define you. It may have shaped you, taught you lessons, and brought you to where you are today, but it is not the ultimate author of your story. Too often we allow past mistakes, failures, and setbacks to weigh us down, convincing ourselves that we are unworthy of a fresh start or incapable of achieving our dreams. But the truth is, your past is just one chapter of your life, not the whole book. You have the power, with God's guidance, to turn the page and step into a future filled with hope, purpose, and possibility. The past has a way of clinging to us, especially when we've experienced pain, regret, or disappointment. It's easy to replay old failures in your mind, to let the voice of guilt or shame drown out the hope of a better tomorrow. But holding on to the past only keeps you stuck. It blinds you to the opportunities of the present and the potential of the future. You are not the mistakes you've made or the hardships you've endured. You are so much more than that. God's Word reminds us, if anyone is in Christ, they are a new creation. The old has passed away, behold, the new has come, 2 Corinthians 5:17. This is your promise, you are not bound by what's behind you. You can release the chains of regret and embrace the freedom of forgiveness and renewal. God has already forgiven you for your past, and He's ready to lead you into a future filled with blessings. All He asks is that you trust Him and take the first step. Think of the most inspiring people you know or admire. Chances are their journeys weren't free of failure or hardship. They likely had moments when they could have given up or let their past define them. But they chose to rise above it, to use their experiences as stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. You have that same choice. You can let your past fuel your determination to grow, to improve, and to create a life that honors the person you are becoming. Releasing the past doesn't mean forgetting it entirely. It means choosing to learn from it without letting it control you. Every experience, good or bad, has shaped your character, taught you resilience, and prepared you for the path ahead. Even the darkest moments have value when you view them through the lens of growth and transformation. Your past can be a powerful teacher, but it should never be a permanent label. One of the keys to not being defined by your past is shifting your mindset. Stop focusing on what went wrong and start focusing on what you've learned. Instead of dwelling on who you were, focus on who you're becoming. Speak life over yourself. I am not my mistakes. I am not my failures. I am loved. I am capable. And I am worthy of every good thing. When you renew your mind with truth and positivity, you begin to see yourself as God sees you, not as someone limited by the past, but as someone full of potential and purpose. It's also important to surround yourself with people who believe in you and encourage you to move forward. Let go of relationships that constantly remind you of your failures or make you feel stuck. Seek out those who see your potential and inspire you to keep growing. Sometimes the people around us can either reinforce the chains of the past or help us break free from them. The beauty of life is that every day is a new beginning. You don't have to wait for a specific moment or event to start fresh. You can choose today to let go of the past and step into the future with confidence and hope. God's mercies are new every morning, and His plans for you are good. Trust in that promise and remember that your past is a part of your story, but it's not the final word. This is your time to rise above the past, to reclaim your power, and to walk boldly into the future God has prepared for you. You are not defined by what's behind you. You are defined by the possibilities ahead. Keep moving forward and know that the best is yet to come. Empowerment to change is one of the most transformative gifts you can give yourself. It's the realization that you are not a prisoner of your circumstances, your habits, or your past. Change is not only possible, it's within your control. No matter where you are in life, no matter what challenges you faced, you have the power to make decisions today that will shape a brighter, more fulfilling future. Empowerment begins when you stop waiting for external circumstances to shift and start taking ownership of your life. Often, the biggest barrier to change is the belief that we can't change. Maybe you've tried before and didn't succeed, or maybe the mountain in front of you feels too steep to climb. But the truth is, change doesn't have to happen all at once. It starts with small, intentional steps in the right direction. When you take those steps, you build momentum. You show yourself that progress is possible, and with each step, your confidence grows. Empowerment to change means understanding that your past doesn't define you, and neither do your current circumstances. You may have made mistakes, faced setbacks, or fallen short of your goals, but none of that has the power to dictate your future unless you let it. Change starts with a decision to stop focusing on what you can't control and start focusing on what you can. You can't change the past, but you can change how you respond to it. You can't control everything that happens in life, but you can control your attitude, your choices, and your effort. When you empower yourself to change, you begin to see obstacles not as roadblocks, but as opportunities for growth. Challenges become stepping stones to greater strength and resilience. It's not about avoiding difficulty, it's about learning how to navigate it with grace and determination. Empowerment doesn't mean you won't face struggles, it means you believe in your ability to overcome them. Change also requires a shift in mindset. It's about moving from a victim mentality to a victor mentality. Instead of saying, "Why is this happening to me?" you ask, "What can I learn from this? How can I grow through this?" Empowerment is rooted in the belief that you are not at the mercy of life's circumstances. You are an active participant in creating the life you want. This empowerment comes with the understanding that you don't have to do it all on your own. God is your source of strength, wisdom, and guidance. When you lean on Him, you'll find that He equips you with everything you need to succeed. Philippians 4:13 says, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." That's not just a nice phrase, it's a promise. You have access to divine power to help you change what needs to be changed and to walk boldly into the future He has planned for you. Empowerment to change also means silencing the negative voices in your head. Those voices that say you're not good enough or it's too late for you are lies. Replace them with truths. Speak life over yourself. "I am capable. I am strong. I am strong. I am worthy of success and happiness." Your words have power, and when you speak positively, you begin to believe it, and belief leads to action. Finally, empowerment is about taking action. You can read all the books, listen to all the motivational speeches, and dream all the dreams, but until you take that first step, nothing changes. Action is what turns ideas into reality. It doesn't have to be a big step, just a step. Maybe it's signing up for a class, having a difficult conversation, or waking up a little earlier to work on your goals. Whatever it is, do it with intention and purpose, knowing that each small step brings you closer to where you want to be. This is your time. You have everything you need to make meaningful changes in your life. Trust yourself, trust the process, and trust that God is walking with you every step of the way. Empower yourself to change and watch as your life transforms in ways you never thought possible. Shifting your mindset is one of the most powerful ways to transform your life. The way you think shapes the way you live. It determines how you approach challenges, how you view opportunities, and ultimately how much of your potential you tap into. A mindset shift is not about ignoring reality or pretending life is perfect. It's about changing the way you perceive and respond to the world around you. It's about choosing thoughts that empower you rather than ones that hold you back. Your mindset is like the lens through which you view life. If that lens is clouded by negativity, self-doubt, or fear, everything you see will seem impossible, overwhelming, or out of reach. But when you shift that lens to one of positivity, faith, and possibility, you begin to see opportunities where others see obstacles. You realize that setbacks are not the end of the road, but stepping stones toward growth and success. Shifting your mindset starts with becoming aware of the thoughts you allow to take root in your mind. Every day you are bombarded with ideas, opinions, and influences. Some of these are helpful, but others are not. Negative thoughts like "I can't do this, I'm not good enough, or I'll never succeed" can become self-fulfilling prophecies if you allow them to dominate your thinking. The first step to a mindset shift is recognizing these limiting beliefs and replacing them with empowering truths. Changing your mindset doesn't mean you ignore the difficulties in life. Instead, it means choosing to focus on what you can control and letting go of what you cannot. For example, when faced with a challenge, you might initially think, "This is too hard, I can't handle it." But by shifting your mindset, you can reframe that thought to, this is a challenge, but I'll figure out how to overcome it. That small change in perspective can make a world of difference in how you approach the situation and the effort you're willing to put in. One of the most effective ways to shift your mindset is through the power of gratitude. When you focus on what you have rather than what you lack, your perspective begins to change. Gratitude opens your eyes to the blessings in your life, no matter how small they may seem. It helps you appreciate the progress you've made and the resources you already have to move forward. Gratitude isn't just a feel-good practice, it's a tool that rewires your brain to see possibilities instead of limitations. Another key to shifting your mindset is surrounding yourself with positivity. The people you spend time with and the content you consume have a profound impact on your thoughts. If you're constantly surrounded by negativity, it's much harder to maintain a positive outlook. Seek out relationships and environments that uplift and inspire you. Spend time with people who encourage your dreams and believe in your potential. Fill your mind with stories, books, and messages that motivate and challenge you to grow. Faith is also a cornerstone of a mindset shift. When you trust that God has a plan for your life, it becomes easier to face challenges with courage and hope. Faith reminds you that you are not alone and that every obstacle is an opportunity for God to work in your life. It's about leaning on His strength when yours feels insufficient and trusting that He will guide you through even the darkest valleys. Shifting your mindset is not a one-time decision, it's a daily practice. Every morning you have the opportunity to choose how you'll approach the day. Will you focus on your problems or will you focus on your potential? Will you dwell on what's missing or will you celebrate what's already there? Each choice you make strengthens the mindset you're building. Your mindset determines your future. When you choose to think positively, believe in yourself, and trust in God's plan, you unlock a world of possibilities. Challenges become opportunities, failures become lessons, and every day becomes a step closer to the life you were meant to live. Shifting your mindset won't just change how you think, it will change how you live. And when you change how you live, you change your future. Healing relationships is one of the most profound and transformative journeys you can undertake. Relationships are at the heart of our lives, shaping our sense of connection, belonging, and purpose. Yet they can also be a source of pain and disappointment. Conflicts arise, trust is broken, or misunderstandings persist. Healing a relationship doesn't happen overnight, but with patience, humility, and a willingness to grow, fractured connections can be restored, and new levels of intimacy and trust can emerge. The first step in healing any relationship is recognizing the value of the bond itself. Too often we let pride or resentment prevent us from addressing the rift, convincing ourselves that moving on or cutting ties is easier than facing the discomfort of reconciliation. But deep down, most of us long for restoration. Healing begins when you acknowledge that the relationship is worth fighting for, whether it's with a spouse, a family member, a friend, or a colleague. Relationships are gifts from God, and when you approach them with that mindset, you'll find the courage to take the first step toward healing. One of the most powerful tools for healing is communication. Honest, open dialogue allows both parties to express their feelings, share their perspectives, and clarify misunderstandings. However, effective communication requires more than just speaking, it requires listening. Truly listening means setting aside your assumptions and being present for the other person, seeking to understand rather than to respond. When someone feels heard and validated, it creates a foundation for rebuilding trust and connection. Forgiveness is another cornerstone of healing relationships. Holding on to anger, bitterness, or resentment only deepens the divide. Forgiveness doesn't mean condoning hurtful actions or forgetting what happened. It means choosing to release the pain and no longer allowing it to control your heart. Forgiveness is as much for you as it is for the other person. It frees you from the emotional weight of the past and opens the door for reconciliation. If you're struggling to forgive, ask God for help. He can soften your heart and give you the grace to let go. Healing also requires humility. It takes courage to admit when you've been wrong, to apologize sincerely, and to take responsibility for your part in the conflict. Pride often tells us to defend our actions or shift blame, but humility paves the way for genuine reconciliation. When you approach the other person with a heart of humility, it disarms defensiveness and fosters an environment of mutual respect and understanding. Patience is essential in the process of healing. Relationships don't break overnight, and they don't heal overnight either. Trust takes time to rebuild, especially if it has been deeply damaged. Consistency in your words and actions is key to showing the other person that you're committed to making things right. Be patient with yourself and the other person, recognizing that healing is a journey, not a destination. Boundaries also play an important role in healing relationships. While forgiveness and reconciliation are vital, it's equally important to establish healthy boundaries that protect your emotional well-being and ensure that the relationship is mutually respectful. Boundaries aren't about keeping people out, they're about defining what is acceptable and what isn't, creating a safe space for both parties to grow and thrive. Prayer is a powerful tool for healing relationships. When you bring your struggles and your heartaches to God, He provides wisdom, strength, and peace. Pray for the other person, asking God to bless them and work in their heart. Pray for yourself, seeking guidance on how to approach the situation with love and grace. God is the ultimate healer, and His presence can bring restoration to even the most broken connections. Ultimately, healing a relationship is about love choosing love even when it's hard, even when it feels undeserved. Love is patient, kind, and forgiving. It keeps no record of wrongs and rejoices in the truth. When you approach a fractured relationship with a heart full of love, you reflect the love of God who restores and redeems. Healing relationships isn't just about fixing what's broken. It's about building something stronger and more beautiful. It's about learning, growing, and deepening your connection with the people who matter most. No matter how strained or distant a relationship may seem, there is always hope for healing. With faith, effort, and an open heart, reconciliation is possible, and the bond can emerge stronger than ever before. Progress over perfection is a mindset that frees you from the impossible burden of flawlessness and empowers you to focus on steady growth. Too often we fall into the trap of believing that everything must be perfect before we can move forward our plans, our abilities, our circumstances. This pursuit of perfection, however, can be paralyzing. It creates a fear of failure and a tendency to procrastinate because nothing ever feels good enough. By shifting your focus to progress, you embrace the beauty of growth, learning, and the journey itself. Perfection is an illusion. No one is perfect, and no situation ever unfolds exactly as planned. Waiting for perfection is like chasing a mirage. You expend energy and time, but it always remains out of reach. Progress, on the other hand, is tangible. It's measurable, attainable, and deeply rewarding. Progress is about taking consistent steps forward. No matter how small they may seem, every step brings you closer to your goals, and even setbacks become opportunities to learn and adjust. When you focus on progress, you let go of the fear of making mistakes. Mistakes are not the end of the road, they are essential to growth. Each misstep teaches you something valuable about yourself, your goals, or your process. Instead of seeing mistakes as failures, view them as stepping stones. They are proof that you're trying, learning, and moving forward. The most successful people in the world didn't achieve greatness by being perfect. They achieved it by persevering through their imperfections. Progress over perfection is also about celebrating the journey. When you're fixated on an ideal outcome, you often miss the beauty of the process. Life is not just about achieving goals, it's about who you become in the process of working toward them. Each effort you make, each challenge you overcome, and each lesson you learn shapes you into a stronger, wiser, and more capable person. By valuing progress, you give yourself the gift of appreciating the present moment instead of constantly striving for a future ideal. Adopting a progress-focused mindset requires a shift in how you measure success. Instead of asking, did I get it perfect, ask yourself, did I improve? Did I try? Did I learn something? Success is not about achieving perfection. It's about moving forward, even if it's just one step at a time. Every bit of effort adds up over time, creating momentum and leading to meaningful change. One of the most liberating aspects of focusing on progress is that it fosters resilience. Perfectionism often leads to all or nothing thinking. If something isn't perfect, it's seen as a failure. This mindset can make you give up at the first sign of difficulty. Progress, however, embraces imperfection as part of the process. It allows you to bounce back, adjust your approach, and keep going. Resilience is built through the understanding that setbacks are not permanent and that perseverance is the key to growth. Progress over perfection also encourages self-compassion. Perfectionism can be harsh and unforgiving, leading to feelings of inadequacy and self-criticism. When you focus on progress, you give yourself permission to be human. You acknowledge that growth takes time and that it's okay to stumble along the way. Treating yourself with kindness and understanding creates a healthier, more sustainable path to success. This mindset applies to all areas of life, whether it's your career, relationships, health, or personal development. In your work, aim to do your best rather than striving for an unattainable ideal. In your relationships, focus on building better communication and